Hey Owls, welcome back to the Student Affairs Spotlight podcast. Today's guest, we have the Director of First Generation Student Success, Dr. Herrera, and one of their Kelly Strul Scholars, Aalesha. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course, yeah. So to start off, Dr. Herrera, if you could explain your position and what you do with Student Affairs.
Yeah, so my position, I serve as the Director of First Generation Student Success. And what I do is managing a lot of the scholarship programs, including Kelly Strul, RISE, TAP, and also our Johnson Transfer Scholarship, as well as putting on events and things for our first gen students. And we also advise the First and Proud organization.
Very nice. And Aalesha, if you'd like to share what year you're in here at Florida Atlantic and what you're studying.
Yes, of course. So my name's Aalesha Chisholm-Green. As you know, I'm cohort 4 of Kelly Strul Emerging Scholars Program, and I'm studying to get my Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering with a minor in Geomatics Engineering.
Very nice. Okay. So to kick off, we're going to start with first generation. So what drew you to working with first generation college students?
I think because I am a first generation college student, I did not always think college was possible. I wanted it to be an option, and it was something that I was striving for, but I was always worried about the finances behind it and whether I could afford college. And I think that's where our scholarships are very important. They provide a lot of life-changing opportunities for our students. And I think there's just so much purpose that I see in the work that I do. And I think that's always been very important to me, is to have purpose, because that immediately can really drive your passion and motivation to do well in any job.
Love that. Okay. So what programs or initiatives have been most impactful in supporting first generation students here?
I would say Kelly Strul Emerging Scholars Program is definitely the program that really stands out among the rest, just because of the wraparound support that we provide students, because there's such a collaborative effort of other offices that are coming together to support students. For example, we work very closely with academic advising, and there are academic advisors that are specifically matched with our Kelly Strul scholars, and they're very much in the know of like what's going on, with when it comes to their academic lives. And we have open lines of communication with the academic advisors of like how our scholars are doing. We can always reach out to be like, hey, this, just so you know, this is happening with this student. And then they can then reach out and provide more support. And I think another thing, a big collaboration has been with you all in terms of social media. You guys are really helping us, get the message out about what we do. And then Career Center, I think, has also been a really great partner with us, because we want to make sure that all of our Kelly Strul scholars are getting internships, that they know how to network, that they know how to market themselves, whether that be on LinkedIn and their resume, that kind of thing. Because ultimately they're here for a career or a step towards a future career. And we want to make sure that's taking place. And I think another big partner is definitely financial aid, because they're there to make sure, one, that they have the finances, and they're actually going to be partnering with us a little bit during First Gen Week to talk a little bit about financial literacy, investing, budgeting, that kind of thing. So those are big partners. And then obviously alumni and community engagement. I work really closely with Dr. Kevin Allen and his team, who are there to kind of work with donors and make sure that we have the support we need financially to run the office and all these scholarship programs.
A lot of great collaboration. So before we jump into Kelly Strul, can you give some insight on what is for students who, sorry, I wrote that word. Before we jump into Kelly Strul, can you give some insight on what it is for students who may not know?
Yeah, so Kelly Strul is meant for first year incoming first generation students. So we are looking, it's in a cohort model. So the next cohort of our Kelly Strul Emerging Scholars is going to be cohort 10. We're actually really excited about it because this is our 10th year doing this program.
Oh, wow.
And so any high school senior that is, looking for a university that is going to support them as a first gen student, this is a great program for them. We're looking for Florida residents, everyone has to be accepted by FAU, is the first thing. And they also have to be Pell eligible, because we're looking for students who have some kind of financial need in order for us to provide the scholarship. And we're also looking for students that represent some kind of academic rigor, like we're looking at GPA, test scores. But we also want a well-rounded way of looking at the students. So we also incorporate like an interview process. They share a video, and they also do like a written statement as well that they submit with their application. But essentially, the way the scholarship works is, let's say Aalesha knows that she is going to be getting $15,000 in Pell grant money. And the cost, let's say, for example, is $30,000. We cover the remaining of that. That $15,000 that she has left towards tuition, we cover that.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Okay. So, Aalesha, can you share a little bit about your journey into college and what it means to be a first-generation student?
Of course. So my journey into college was kind of on an interesting tip, because I did come in during 2020. So everything was kind of shut down and there was nothing going on campus. However, I still was able to stay on campus per the scholarship. And it was really, really awesome to kind of get that experience of living with a roommate, being on your own, cooking on your own. It was a really interesting experience, especially in 2020. And then as we kind of came more out of the pandemic, just overall, the amount of people that you were able to meet, I feel like I got such a great experience in college. I really got everything that I wanted. I was able to get the long nights studying, all the tests, all the prepping, going to class, walking to class, having events after class, the barbecues. Everything around Florida Atlantic has been such an amazing experience. And this is something that I believe every first-gen student should be able to experience.
Very nice. So how did you first learn about the Kelly Strul Emerging Scholars Program?
So that's such a funny way. So the way I learned about the scholarship was I was actually on a field trip in school, and I got an email saying that I qualified to apply for this scholarship. And it was actually the first scholarship that I actually applied to. And it was very, very fun. I did have to do like the video and everything of that sort. So it was just really awesome. The emails that go out and we reach out to students to apply for these scholarships is just like a really great way to extend and let students know, hey, this opportunity, apply for it. You know, you never know what may happen. And I ended up receiving it. So it was an awesome experience, and it was very easy to apply as well.
Nice. Very nice. So what kind of support have you received through the scholarship?
I received a lot of support, and that's from donors, from faculty, and even other students. So a lot of it was through like academic advising. I really learned how to study from academic advising and meeting with my counselors there, having other students to support you and study with me. Even though we were in different degree programs, we had some of the same classes, so we would study together. Then you have faculty who are some of the most amazing people I've ever met. Anything I needed, they were always there to help me with financial aid, with even schooling, trying to figure out a schedule, all of the support around it. So I would definitely say that Kelly Strul is not just a program. We are a family, and we really do help each other. And that was something that I really loved about this program.
Nice. Very nice. How has the scholarship changed your perspective on what's possible for you?
It showed me that like nothing is impossible, right? So being debt free is something that a lot of people don't really understand. So Kelly Strul brought me in to college and just in life, and pushed me further ahead regardless, because I'll be graduating debt free. But it also showed me how to be like financially smart. Right. So up until this point, I have never been in debt. And that is something that I have been working very hard to achieve and to maintain. And I hope to plan to continue to do that in my adult life post grad. And that was something that I would say very, very well opened my eyes to just learning how not everything has to be black and white. You can actually achieve your goals. And Kelly Strul is the first step in helping me to achieve my lifelong goals.
That's very inspiring.
100%.
Yeah. So some final questions for you guys. If donors and supporters of this program are listening right now, what would you want to say to them?
All right, so I guess I'll say it. So I want to thank all the donors and supporters of the Kelly Strul Emerging Scholars Program. Not only has this program impacted so many different lives, all the work and the hard work that our donors have shown, it shows in this program. And the donors, your legacies are going to live on through so many different people and their lives. And it includes mine as well. And I want to thank all the donors and supporters for everything that you have done for this program and will continue to do. Thank you.
And I'd like to say thank you as well. I mean, the work that we're doing is so, so important. And sitting here next to Aalesha, I'm actually in awe of her right now and how well she's able to speak for herself, to the program, to what the program's provided to her. And she is just one small testament of the number of lives that we're changing through this program, because our students aren't just graduating with a degree. They're graduating with connections. They're graduating with some form of financial literacy. They're understanding how the connections that they make will ultimately change their lives for the better once they do graduate. And we couldn't do this without your support and your generosity. And if anything, my hope is to expand this program and do more with it, because there's so many other first generation students that come to my office looking for the support after their first year, because this is for our first year students. And if anything, like, my heart breaks when I can't offer a scholarship to another student because of, how amazing the experience they get here is, because of just being able to give them the finances to take advantage of every opportunity, whether that's taking an unpaid internship, which you might not be able to afford to take, as a low-income student, first-gen student, going to study abroad. That's something I never did because I couldn't afford it. And all of my plenty of Kelly Strul scholars are studying abroad. So thank you, and spread the word. Help us spread the word.
And speaking of students coming through the door, if they're interested in first generation and the scholarship, where can they go to get more information?
Definitely our website. So from the main FAU website, FAU First Generation Student Success, they can definitely find it there. And they can also follow us on Instagram, FAU First Gen as well. And our Kelly Strul Emerging Scholars Program has its own website and its own Instagram as for recruitment purposes and everything. And so KS Owls is on Instagram, so you can learn more about Kelly Strul in general there.
Perfect. And finally, National First Generation Week is coming up in November. What can students be expecting that week?
Yeah, so we are still in the planning process, but the programs that we are in the process of planning is everything is going to start off with Fresh Friday with Campus Rec. So big party at the pool. And we really want to make sure that we're collaborating across other campus partners that support health and well-being to be able to get the message out of the different resources when it comes to health, physical, mental health, those kinds of resources on campus. So that'll be at the Campus Rec from 12 to 2 on February 7th. And then National First Gen Day is November 8th. And so we have a football game that day. And so we'll be doing a First Gen alumni tailgate on the 8th, and moving into the following week from November 10th through the 14th, we're going to be doing a Smart Money Jeopardy. So again, financial literacy and teaching all of that, but with a lot of awesome prizes for our students. We will also have we're going to be trying to do a Instagram, social media takeover, where we're getting stories from staff across campus of what it meant for them to be first gen and how they support first gen students here at FAU. And our kind of premier program is going to be Friday, November 14th, where we are doing, it's called the Art of the Meal, Networking with Purpose. And so this is going to be a big networking luncheon where we're working directly with the Career Center and a community partner who is going to be walking students through how to network and also etiquette, because when you're having a meal with someone that might be hiring you for a job, like how do you conduct yourself in that kind of a setting? Because that can always feel weird. Like, am I talking with my mouth full? Like, how do I manage myself? And so we're going to have business leaders at different tables with students where they also get to network in a relaxed environment, like you're sharing a meal together. So we're really excited for that.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. Can't wait for all of that. And thank you both so much for coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Go Owls.